Happy Sunday, everybody. Steve here. Sorry it's been so long. Again, since I've done one of these. I just got home from a 2 week trip. This was the it wasn't longer, but I flew a whole lot more than I have on any other trip. It was like every day. It just seemed like every day I was flying. Flew a lot, quite a bit. Didn't have a lot of downtime, so I apologize. I So we're getting ready to head out on the road again. Benjamin and Bella came into town, and we're going down to Florida for a little vacation. And something happened when I was on. So I got my notes page on my phone, and I took some notes. I was reading through the book of Luke, and I was reminded me of something. I was on a trip, a Boeing trip out in California recently, a couple of, well, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 weeks ago. I lost track. It was 3 weeks ago, maybe. And something happened to remind me. I thought it was kind of funny. Um, but it reminded me there was a movie, if you've ever seen it, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. It's a pretty silly movie. If you like that kind of humor at all, most people don't. Most women don't, I know. It just seems like guys, that's just guy humor, guy movie. Anyway, there's one part in there where they're going through this forest and they come upon the Knights of Ni, the knights who say Ni, and they're given this task. Before we let you pass, you have to do a task course. And they're like, okay, what is it? What is it? And they're like, we want you to plant a shrubbery. So they've had to plant this shrubbery, and so they do this, and and then they get through with that, and they're like, okay, well, now you gotta cut down this tree with a herring, and it's like this impossible task. It's just silly. But I thought about that, and I was thinking about, because I was flying, I was in the simulator, and I was with this other instructor, and we were getting ready to do some air refueling, and as part of the test we were doing on the sim, and which it's pretty. You have to, you have to be pretty, have good hands, and you have to do it fairly regularly. I mean, it's kind of a perishable skill. You kind of forget the muscle movement and how you have to do when you're flying behind another airplane, air refueling. And we were doing this one thing. We are kind of in a hurry, and I was talking to the instructor. I was going, hey, so how are you here with air refueling? Are you going to be able to do this, or because I was in the back running the test and the panel, and he was up in the seats flying, and he's like, well, it's been a while. And I'm like, yeah, and he goes, uh, I can teach it, I just can't do it. And I just thought that was kind of funny. And so I ended up having to jump up in the seat and do it. But I heard that, and I'm like, oh, holy smoke! I mean, how do you teach? And then if your students hear that, if your students know that, I mean, what kind of teacher would you be? So all of that ties in with Luke 4. I was reading, and that's in Luke 4. Jesus was led out into the wilderness and was tempted by the devil for 40 days. And all of these things were handed to him. I mean, the devil's like, look, the kingdoms of the world have been given to me, and they're yours if you just bow down and worship me. All these temptations that he ladled on Jesus, and if you toss yourself off, and God's said he'd send his angels to protect you and turn the stone into bread and feed yourself. I mean, you can do it. You're pretty hungry, do it. All these temptations that Jesus resisted and set the standard for us. All these temptations that come on us, all these things that come on us, the Lord's been through it. I mean, Paul talks about that. He's our high priest. He's been through it all. He's seen it all. He's done it all as an example, and he made it through sinless, sin free. And he's our advocate because he's been tempted. He's been through all this, and he's up there, Father. This is a tough one. I mean, Okay, he stumbled, but I mean, he learned something from it. He's going to come back from it. I mean, he's advocating for us up there, and much more eloquently than I did there. And I think about that, and I think about, he taught us, he showed us. He never would ask us to go through something that he wasn't willing to do, but he's done things that he would never ask us to do. And I think about that all the time with Abraham. Abraham, take Isaac up on the hill and sacrifice him. And before Abraham did it, and Abraham was going to, before he did, he stopped him, and he wouldn't have him do it. He said, he didn't have him do that. So I'm not going to know that you would, not even your own son would you hold back from me. So, but he stopped him. But he didn't stop. He sacrificed his son for us. All these things, what a great example, what a great teacher, what a great leader, what a great God. I mean, you look at all the other religions and gods and all, what gods, they sit back and laugh and at our, according to them, I mean, they sit back and put obstacles in their way and whatever the story is, but it's no kind of love like that. A love like a father would have, love like what a father would do, teach and show. I just thought about that. So I went from Monty Python to simulator training to that. So we covered a lot of ground today. So I hope this was a blessing for you, and I hope you have a great Sunday, and we'll see you next time.